Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. In today's video, we look at the Season 1 episode where everything that happens technically counts towards the idea of it being its own pilot. Today's episode is titled Project Loud House. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. The episode begins with Lincoln preparing to take his finished project about his family to school, but he needs to make sure his plan to get it safely out of the house and into the car with all 10 of his sisters goes off without a hitch. Despite avoiding several near disasters, his project ends up destroyed anyway. The episode ends with Lincoln's sisters helping to recreate his project, which earns him an A. Well, actually an A-. Way to go, Luann. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. This was one of the original 10 episodes to premiere on Nickelodeon during the first week of premieres, this one airing on a Thursday. If you missed out on the new episodes that aired on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and your first exposure to the show was this episode, I say this was a good place to start before going back to catch up. Project Loud House is something I like to refer to as the series premiere alternative, because just like the official series premiere, it's presented in a way that helps to establish the central premise of the show. One boy, aka the man with a plan, trying to survive a chaotic household of 10 sisters while breaking the fourth wall in the process. That's pretty much how Left in the Dark is laid out, and a lot of the same elements I just mentioned, and then some, are shared between the two episodes. The only notable differences being the story itself and the animation style. The episode gives the audience another insight into how each of the characters is defined and will be defined moving forward. Lucy with dark and dreary poetry, Lynn and her obsession with sports, Luann making puns on top of pranks, Luna... well, you get the idea. It's also one of those rare moments where Lily is seen wearing clothes, so that's something. Perhaps the best thing about Project Loud House would be, just like the official series premiere, the story and characters don't have to go beyond what's necessary to make the episode entertaining. The conflict is simple to follow, the characters and their respective personality traits are not ambiguous, and everyone comes through for one another in a very kind-hearted way. Lincoln made sure his sisters were all taken care of before leaving the house, and his sisters made sure their brother wouldn't fail the school project after he accidentally slipped on Lynn's roller skate and dropped it. When it comes to being there for the ones you love, it's like Lola and Lana said, it's what families do. And I greatly respected how that line played a part throughout the episode. Then again, not every family has a child genius who may have been inspired by the Smurfs and Willy Wonka to do what Lisa planned to do to Lenny, so maybe there are some things a family wouldn't do for each other. In any case, as much as I adore the episode from start to finish, there is one thing that bothers me a bit. When Lori refuses to go to school, meaning she can't drive her siblings to school either, Lincoln pretended to call her phone and impersonate her boyfriend Bobby and successfully convince her to go to school after all. While I'm willing to play along with the idea of Lincoln trying to pass himself off as his sister's boyfriend, no matter how ridiculous it seems for Lori to not recognize the difference in voice when she was literally talking to Bobby barely a few minutes prior, I can't wrap my mind around Lori answering her cell phone and the person on the other end is calling from the landline in her own house. Does Lori not have the landline on her contact list? I guess, but I'm not sure why she'd not have it in case of emergencies. I'm not saying this nitpick brings the episode down by a whole lot, it just comes off as a bit too convenient and maybe a little forceful to advance the story. However, Lincoln is the man with a plan, and it worked out just like all three phases of his plan to get all 10 of his sisters out of the door and into the car, so you can't say his operation was a complete failure. Looks like Lucy will have to look for failure somewhere else. Overall, this episode truly is one of the absolute greatest of the series, and it's hard to find any real negatives to make it come off as terrible. The story and characters were great, the resolution to the conflict had a wholesome payoff, and when you look past something very convenient such as Lincoln's phone call to Lori to get her out of the house, it remains one of those first season gems you can watch over and over again and still appreciate it for what it is. With that said, I give Project Loud House a 9.9 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Project Loud House. Whether you first got into the show beginning with this episode or Left in the Dark, you can be sure either one of them is a good place to start, and it's a reminder of how keeping things simple is sometimes all you need to hook the audience and keep them coming back for a long time. So, as far as this series premiere alternative goes, what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.